Hi everybody, just thought I'd go live and have a chat with people about the Niall Collins controversy in particular and what's going to happen in the Dáil today. If you can, share this post so your friends can see it as well and find out what's been going on. So once again, credit goes to the Ditch website, which really everybody should be watching. They're doing an incredible amount of the work of exposing corruption, breaches of ethics, legislation, codes of conduct, etc. by establishment party politicians. So it's 6 days ago now that the Ditch reported about what happened in 2006 and 2007 on Limerick County Council. In December 2006, Niall Collins, who was then a councillor, his wife, wrote to the council expressing an interest in buying a particular piece of land which was owned by the council. The next month, in January 2007, the council management brings it to the councillors and says there's a number of interests in buying this area of land. Do you agree to put it up for sale? And the Ditch says that there weren't. That's what the minutes say, is a number of interests. But the Ditch says that in fact there was only one expression of interest, which was Niall Collins' wife. It was then proposed by a Fianna Fáil councillor and agreed by all the councillors to put this land up for sale. Niall Collins, to be clear, he was a councillor at the time. His wife had expressed an interest in buying the site, and he did not recuse himself, so step outside the room. He did not announce that he has a conflict of interest here, and he participated then in the decision. He did not participate in the decision to put an area of land up for sale that his wife had expressed an interest in buying. His wife did subsequently buy the land. So certainly on the face of it, from what we know so far, it looks like a breach of the Code of Conduct for councillors, which is very clear in terms of conflicts of interest. The Ditch also makes the case that it's a breach of a criminal offence under the Local Government Act 2001, which has a bit about conflicts of interest, and that you have to declare an interest and you shouldn't participate in a vote if a connected person, which includes your wife, would benefit from the decision that you're about to make. So this went up 6 days ago on the Ditch website. Since then, there was complete radio silence from Niall Collins. Nothing. No denial, no explanation, zero. Yesterday, then, I wrote on behalf of People Before Profit to the Business Committee of the Dáil, which organises the schedule of the Dáil and so on, and said, there's major controversy, very serious allegations on the Ditch website, and we need to have time in the Dáil to discuss this. We need to have a statement from Niall Collins, and we need to have questions and answers with TDs so we can explore this. This then prompted a response. We'd had zero from Niall Collins, and then last night, in response to this, Niall Collins issued a statement in relation to this. You can find it online. If you go onto Twitter, Niall Collins statement, you'll find it very easily. What's important about Niall Collins' statement is that he does not dispute or deny any aspect of the story that the Ditch has told. None of it. Instead, he simply says that when there was a vote later on, so what happens is the council decides to put the land up for sale, and then later on, when a buyer has been identified, votes to sell the land to that person. When that second vote took place, Niall Collins was no longer a councillor because he was a TD. So he simply said, I didn't participate in the vote. But he ignores entirely the fact that, well, he participated in the decision to put the land up for sale in the context when his wife was the only person who had expressed an interest in the land. That's the key issue, and he's just ignored it entirely. So his explanation doesn't get rid of the allegations, doesn't get rid of the suspicion of serious wrongdoing, and it means, we're not satisfied, of course. We're still going to be insisting. We have a statement from Niall Collins, and we have questions and answers. And bluntly, the only way, and it seems very, very unlikely, very hard to see how it could be the case, but the only way that Niall Collins gets out of this is if he somehow didn't know that his wife had expressed an interest in buying this land, which is obviously very, very hard to believe that would be the case. He hasn't argued that. But if he knew, or if it seems incredibly likely that he knew, as it does, that his wife expressed an interest in the land, then he participates in the decision the following month to put the land up for sale. I mean, to me, that is open and shut, black and white, very clear conflict of interest. He should not be able to continue as a minister. in my opinion, his position is completely untenable, and if he doesn't step down, well then clearly the Taoiseach, the Taoiseach, Eamon Ryan, the leader of the Green Party, should, get rid of him as a minister. It's absolutely scandalous. So we'll see. It's now almost 1 o'clock. At 2 o'clock we're in the Dáil, leaders' questions for 45 minutes or so, and then we'll discuss the agenda for the week. So at that stage, we will say, wait, hang on a minute, we need to have this on the agenda, and we'll see whether the government will agree, whether they will have statements, or whether they'll oppose it and back Niall Collins. We'll see. But keep an eye out over the next kind of couple of hours. It all should happen by 3 o'clock. Just to mention, because while I'm on here, and I've got a lot of people contacting me with support after what happened last night, so just to thank people for all the support that has come in. People probably heard that there was a crowd of 10 or 11, mostly men, mostly masked, far-right protesters outside our home last night. We were literally getting ready to give our baby Juniper a bath, and my partner Jess saw them outside. Obviously it's not nice, it's upsetting to have people outside your home. You want it to be your safe place. We campaign for the right of people to have a home, to not be evicted, and we think in general people should be able to have a private life, have their family not targeted in this way. So I would say to those people, please don't come and protest outside my home or other people's homes. Protest outside the Dáil, protest where the decisions are made. We're not calling for laws to ban protesting, anything like that, of course not, because that would be a slippery slope to go down. But I've never participated in a protest outside anyone's home. I think it's a very bad idea. It's a very bad behaviour to target people in that way. What I would say to people is that these far right people, they present themselves as being anti-establishment, but you should look at who are they targeting. They're actually targeting the ones who were going after the establishment. Yesterday they were targeting Mick Barry, who's campaigning for our rent reduction bill, who's being introduced into the Dáil tomorrow, to reduce renters' rents. They were giving out leaflets last night against the right to housing bill, which could mean that we could have legislation to bring in proper rent controls, to have an extension of the eviction ban. And then look at what happened yesterday. You have this case of serious wrongdoing by Niall Collins. I'm the one who raises it. I'm the one who gets it onto the agenda of political discourse, get a response from Niall Collins. And yet who is targeted? It's me, targeted by the far right. So there's a lot of evidence to suggest that the far right in reality are acting as agents of the establishment, of agents of the landlord class in this country. They aren't on the side of ordinary people. They're telling lies to ordinary people, for example, about the right to housing bill. They want to divide ordinary people between straight and LGBTQ, between white and black and brown, between people who live here and refugees who are fleeing war. They want to divide ordinary people, whereas it's the left, the socialist left, who organise people together to defeat the water charges. By standing together we are strong, who organise, are involved in the movements for extend the eviction ban, while most of the far right are opposed to the extension of the eviction ban, calling for rents to come down and so on. Anyway, I got a lot of support. Even people who don't agree with us on everything obviously understand it's not right to be bringing a protest like that to someone's home, to someone's neighbourhood. So just to say I do appreciate that support, and don't worry, we won't be deterred or intimidated in the slightest. We're continuing to campaign for ordinary people, for renters, for tenants, for people's right to own their home, and against the kind of division and hate that the far right would like to peddle. So thanks a lot.